Alright, so for today's video, I'm just going to do a quick rehash on mixing basic stock plugins to keep this really simple, and then we're going to go into parallel effects. We're going to go over this set of unique parallel effects that can really help take your mixes to another level. Alright, so let's start with a basic mix.
This is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him in.
Alright, so I'm going to use the basic stock EQ in Pro Tools here. First, I'm going to listen to my sound. Instead of boosting and sweeping, I want to listen to the sound first and decide what I want to do.
This is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery.
Alright, so what I feel like I could do is definitely do a low cut filter to get rid of the noise and stuff I don't need. But then I could take out some body and really add some sparkle and high end. So let's do that.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. This is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. I say why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me?
Alright, so you can obviously hear that's very aggressive. But now I'm going to add a de-esser to soak up that harsh high end, and we're going to see how this sits. But right now, I like the vibe of this. I took out some low end noise I don't need, then I took out some body of the vocal to help it sit a little better with the music, and then I added a nice high shelf and a little boost around 5,000 to have it cut even more. Alright, now let's mix this into a de-esser.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. This is my philosophy.
Nice. The de-esser does definitely help to soak up some harsh high end, but I am going to smooth it out further with some compression and some saturation. So let's add a stock compressor.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property.
Nice. So that helps the vocal feel more present, more thick, and more in your face. All right, let's add a little bit of saturation now. So I'm going to change the tape speed to 30 to preserve a little bit more high end, but that might be all I do.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly.
Nice. You can hear that really rounds out the high end, and it's not quite as harsh anymore. But I could go down to a lower speed if I want to make it even more smoothed out.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me.
And you can hear going from 30 to 15, it does sound a lot smoother in the high end now. So let's hear everything on and off.
Get a lot of cheese like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna.
Now, I will definitely say the vocal is getting louder, and we do have to be careful that loudness doesn't fool us. But in this case, I'm aware of it, and I do like the louder vocal. So with all the tone and settings I have here, I'm okay with this so far. Now let's add some parallel effects to take this vocal to a new level. All right, so first, let's add some reverb. I'm going to go to the send here, go to new track, and I'm going to call this reverb. All right, I'm going to use the basic Pro Tools stock reverb, keep it at 100% wet, add a little bit of pre-delay to separate it from the reverb, and let's send the vocals there now.
I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. This is my philosophy.
And because this reverb is on a parallel channel, now I can EQ it. So let's add an EQ and clean up this reverb a little bit.
I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, and there ain't nobody stopping me. Why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I say ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. This is my philosophy. Get a.
Nice. So that's just going to clean up the low end and the high end of the reverb and keep it a little bit more controlled. All right. Now let's add some parallel compression on the whole entire mix. So as a quick refresher, I'm going to send this from my vocal aux and my beat. I'm going to use the stock Bomb Factory 76. I'm going to make the settings a bit more aggressive, and I'm going to pin the needle, okay? I'm going to very heavily compress this. When you very heavily compress something, it brings up a lot of low-level information, and then if I blend that in with my whole entire mix, it's going to add this punch and explosiveness that parallel compression often does, and it's going to make it sound really awesome. All right, so first I'm going to turn this down because I don't want to hear it just yet.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me.
Okay, so you can see I'm pinning the needle here. Now let's slowly bring that up and blend it into taste.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. Like,
so you can definitely hear it is adding a more explosive, punchier vibe to the whole entire mix. Now let's just hear the parallel compression. So if I hold Control and Command and click on the outputs, I can make them inactive.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me?
So as you can hear, the parallel compression does add an explosive vibe to the mix, and it does feel more aggressive, which I like.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there.
Be very careful that when you're adding parallel compression, you're not adding loudness. Try to do it very, very subtly, so when you mute it on and off, you don't hear a loud increase in level. Because remember, loudness will always fool you. All right, now let's do what's known as the Pultec trick. This is a really awesome trick to help your vocals cut through the mix. So at this point, I'm going to stop using stock plugins and use some different plugins. Now you can use a basic EQ to do this, but I usually prefer the Pultec style to do this right. So first what I'm going to do is cut out some low end. Then I'm going to boost aggressively in the high end. Then I'm going to use an LA2A style compressor and really compress the signal. By the way, you can also turn this knob right here so it pays more attention to the high frequency content, so I usually like to do that.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no. I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they want?
So we're not hearing the effect just yet, but first I want to make sure that I'm really aggressively compressing this signal. Now I'm going to option drag and use another Pultec EQ to actually add some low end back. All right, let's hear what that sounds like first.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. There ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna?
So what you're hearing is a hyper compressed, thin sounding version of the vocal, but blended in parallel can really help your vocals cut through the mix if you blend it in just right. So this is a really powerful technique to help your vocals cut through a dense mix.
I want a lottery.
Now let's hear it in the whole mix.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly.
So it is subtle, but you should hear a bit more brightness and aggressiveness in the vocal to help it cut through a dense mix. Now for my next parallel effect, I'm going to add a higher octave vocal and a lower octave vocal. All right, now let's just hear the lower octave vocal.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody.
Now obviously, on its own, it sounds pretty ridiculous, but if I blend that in very lightly, it's going to add some weight to the vocal that isn't there originally.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property to give me a monopoly. Like, this is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese, like I want a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it.
So as you can hear, it's incredibly subtle, but blended in, it's just gonna add a little bit of subweight that isn't originally there. Now what I'm gonna do is duplicate this track. And this one is gonna be an octave up.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me.
So again, absolutely ridiculous sounding on its own, but blended in, it might add a subtle layer.
I want a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody
Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more because it is a little distracting.
I won a lottery, keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be?
So I do feel like it's adding something. It's very subtle, but that's exactly the point. Now make sure this is at a very quiet level, because if people hear this, it could be very distracting.
Apology, gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me.
For my next parallel effect, this one is really, really cool. So I'm gonna add a whisper track. Now this trick I got from Warren Ewart. You have to use this plugin specifically. You might be able to find a different kind of plugin that can do this, but this one works really well for this application. So it has a preset called Whisper. All right, let's hear what that sounds like.
Apology, gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me?
Sounds crazy, right? But again, hopefully you're starting to realize that if you blend that in very subtly in parallel, it can add another dimension and layer that isn't there to begin with. So let's use this.
Apology, gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then give me a monopoly. Like, this is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese, like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. I said, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said, ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then turn to a monopoly.
So again, very, very subtle, but that's the point. It's just adding another layer to add more dimension to the vocal. All right, now let's add another parallel effect. I'm gonna use this to add spread and width to the vocal. Now you could do this with the stereo delay, but I'm gonna use a specific plugin instead. I'm gonna use Soundtoys Microshift. I'm gonna use the preset Lead Spread Mixed, turn it to 100% wet because this is a parallel effect, and let's see what that sounds like.
Apology, gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me?
So if you're listening with a proper playback device, you're gonna hear a very wide spread with the vocals. It's gonna really help them sit a bit better in the sound field and make them feel like they're hugging you a bit more.
Apology.
All right, let's blend that into the mix.
Apology, gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then give me a monopoly. Like, this is my philosophy.
Again, a very light effect, but if you blend it in just right, it makes the vocals feel a little bit more wide in the stereo field and a little bit larger than life. Now another crazy effect I could do is I could send my whole mix to an exciter and blend that in. Let's try that. All right, so I'm gonna use the Aphex Vintage Aural Exciter, and I'm gonna send this for my vocals and the music. All right, let's hear how this sounds.
Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like,
So similar to the Pultec trick, we have a very aggressive, thin, bright sounding sound. Now let's blend it into taste.
keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then give me a monopoly. Like, this is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese, like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. I said, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me?
Let's tone it down a little bit.
Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why these people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said, ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then give me a monopoly. Like, this is my philosophy. Get a lot of cheese, like I won a lottery. Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get it, man, there ain't.
All right, so I think you're getting the idea. What I'm trying to say is that you can use a lot of parallel effects to add layers and dimension to your mix that weren't there to begin with. Sometimes when you get a perfect sound with your vocal, but you want to add something more, don't keep adding plugins onto the vocal and potentially destroy your sound. Instead, do something in parallel and blend it into taste, and then you preserve your original sound, but add a whole new vibe of dimension and layers. So I also have a nickname for this trick. Most of this is on my vocal, right? And what I like to call this is my shadow vocal. So if you think about your shadow, right? Your shadow is always following you around, you know, it's there underneath you. This is a vocal underneath the vocal that I call my shadow vocal that is buried and quiet, but adding a whole new dimension layer to my vocals to give it a bit more of an expensive sound. Okay, let's just focus on what is on my vocal. So what I've highlighted here is just the effects for the vocal.
Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, man. There ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why do people watching me? Why they wanna?
So there is my shadow vocal. Now, obviously, it is a pretty ridiculous sound, but again, when it's blended into taste, it can add that vibe that you might be missing. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this on all your vocals or use this many parallel effects. This is just a demonstration, but hopefully you're starting to realize that parallel effects can take your mixes to whole new levels. Now let's hear all the parallel effects on and off.
Keep it up, no apology. Gotta go and get him, man. There ain't nobody stopping me. Like, why do people watching me? Why they wanna be? Why they wanna be me? I said ain't nobody stopping me. Trying to get some property, then give me a monopoly.
So even if it is getting a little bit louder, there is so much more vibe with its parallel effects. So remember, if you get your sound dialed in exactly where you want it, but you're looking for just a little bit more vibe, try parallel effects. It can be an amazing way to add depth and dimension and layers that weren't there to begin with. Have a wonderful day, everybody.